The idea that the soul might possess weight, a tangible, measurable essence beyond flesh and blood, has lingered in the shadows of human curiosity for over a century. It is a notion both arresting and unsettling, for it suggests that what animates life might leave a physical trace even as it departs the body. Among the most famous attempts to quantify this elusive presence is the so-called 21-gram experiment, a curious chapter in the history of science and spirituality that continues to provoke debate, skepticism, and reflection. At the heart of the story lies Dr. Duncan McDougall, an early 20th century physician whose name became entwined with the quest to measure the soul. Working in Haverhill, Massachusetts, in 1907, McDougall sought to test an audacious hypothesis. If the soul existed as a distinct entity separate from the physical body, perhaps it had mass that could be detected at the moment of death. Using a sensitive scale, he attempted to weigh terminally ill patients as they passed away, believing that a sudden loss in weight might correspond to the soul's departure. McDougall's results were startling. In several cases, he claimed to have observed a sudden loss of approximately 21 grams at the moment of death. This observation, he suggested, was evidence that the soul had mass and was physically leaving the body. The idea quickly captured public imagination, inspiring both fascination and skepticism. The notion of a weight of the soul was evocative, a bridge between material science and the immaterial mysteries of existence, yet the experiment's scientific rigor has been widely challenged. The small sample size, methodological inconsistencies, and the difficulty of precisely measuring such subtle changes under chaotic conditions of dying bodies raised serious doubts. Critics pointed out that physiological processes at death, such as the release of air from the lungs, evaporation of moisture, or shifts in bodily fluids, could explain weight fluctuations. The equipment's sensitivity, the experimental controls, and the reliability of the measurements were all questioned. The 21-gram figure became as much a cultural myth as a scientific finding. Cited in art, literature, and popular culture but never conclusively validated, beyond its technical controversies, the experiment raises profound questions about the nature of the soul and its relationship to the body. If the soul were indeed a physical entity with measurable mass, what would that imply for centuries of philosophical and theological thought that conceive of it as immaterial, transcendent, or even infinite? Could the soul be reduced to matter, or does this approach misunderstand the essence of what it means to be a conscious, living being? The 21-gram experiment, in its flawed yet provocative way, forced a confrontation between scientific empiricism and metaphysical speculation. Highlighting the limits of each and explaining human existence, more intriguing than the numbers themselves is the persistent allure of the idea that something immaterial yet tangible departs at death. The weight of the soul, whether literal or symbolic, captures a yearning to grasp the ungraspable. It speaks to the human need for proof, for evidence that life's mystery does not end with physical dissolution. It hints at the hope that our essence, our consciousness, or our identity transcends the material boundaries of the body. Contemporary science, with its advances in neuroscience, quantum physics, and consciousness studies, has yet to offer definitive answers about the soul's nature or existence. Neuroscience traces consciousness to brain activity, yet the subjective experience of selfhood and the mystery of awareness remain enigmas. The concept of the soul, in contrast, evokes a continuity beyond death that material measurement struggles to capture. The 21-gram experiment thus sits at a crossroads where science brushes against spirituality, where evidence is elusive, and where belief and doubt coexist. Interestingly, the cultural impact of McDougall's work has been profound, inspiring films, books, and philosophical debates. The metaphor of the soul's weight resonates because it offers a poetic yet tangible image of the human spirit, inviting reflection on mortality and what lies beyond. Whether or not the soul has measurable mass, the experiment challenges us to consider what we mean by existence and identity, and how we grapple with the unknown. In the end, the 21-gram experiment is less a conclusive study than a symbol, a reminder of the tension between the seen and unseen, the measurable and the ineffable. It provokes us to look beyond the body's boundaries and question what it means to truly live and die. Is the soul a ghostly weight lingering on a scale, or is it something immeasurable, dancing on the edge of science and mysticism? The answer remains elusive, a mystery as profound as life itself, inviting endless contemplation where certainty dissolves and wonder begins.